Hello everyone and welcome to the Seismic Gaming Rivalry Scrims. Tonight we've got Cloak versus Jordan. My name is Retro and I'm joined here by the one and only, the greatest, Tardis. Tardis, how are you?
Hi. Oh my god, I'm so sleepy. I'm chugging coffee, so that's what's gonna get me through this. Because I'm hoping we have some good seeds, because otherwise I'm gonna fall asleep. So in case I fall asleep, because it's probably because it was a boring game, but I'm hoping that's not the case. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we've got TGS, aka Team Goodbye Solus, and Team Mist. On TGS we've got Jordan, Vig, John, aka Catcan, Musha, and Marth. And on Team Mist we've got Cloak, Electric, who is Cloak's comp friend, and teammate. We've got Chip, Turn, and Unfriendly. It's going to be quite the matchup. I'm a little bit worried. I feel like TGS have quite the upper hand with Jordan, Vig, and John. But I think the Team Mist won't go down without a fight, especially Cloak and Electric having that dynamic already from playing in comp together, and then also having Turn, who's also going to be an NA player, alongside Cloak for maybe a little bit of that ping advantage. So I think that they're going to... They won't go down fighting without a fight, that's for sure.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see what's going on.
100%. You're just about getting ready here for some map bans. Now, if you haven't really been in our streams before, we've got a bit of a modified map pool. It's got 10 maps at the moment, but currently, because Chalet and Outback are out, due to having been played very recently, we've got Border, Coastline, Consulate, Emerald Plains, Canal, Oregon, Skyscraper, and Villa, which is quite the lineup, I'll say, of maps. It's not something you see all the time. Even in rank, they tend to get banned out. Some of those maps. I will be very happy if we get rid of Consulate as quickly as humanly possible. Yeah, there have been some leaks, some photos of the Consulate rework. I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be a good one, but, you know, you never really know.
Consulate, it was turning into Windows Sim for me, which honestly, it's so old Consulate, so I hope we don't go to Consulate either.
Yeah.
I won't lie. I was just going to say I wish we could see a Skyscraper, but it just gets instantly banned.
Yeah.
First, so that's unfortunate.
Yeah, Skyscraper's been getting a little bit of playtime recently. We had, I think, 2 scrims so far this season, or the season before and this season. I think people are starting to, grow. It's starting to grow on people a little bit, but it's still, one of those maps like very, very defender sided. So if you're thinking of starting an attack, it's not really something you want to gamble with. Um, Much like Canal, who also went out first. It's also another quite defender sided map. Um,
I think Canal just doesn't let you necessarily give you like playmaking opportunities, right? Like
yeah,
if you consider the two, like the primary and the secondary site, it's very much so open lines of sight and then just kind of play off that. Right? There's
yeah,
not much to do once you've done that initial work, right? Like if you think like the top floor site, you open the front double wall, maybe you open green server wall, and that's pretty much it, right? We're seeing EP go away. We're also seeing Villa being banned out, which I was hoping. Okay, I wish we would have seen Villa, but it's fine. Emerald Plains being banned out kind of makes sense. Not
hmm
people aren't necessarily familiar with that map, especially if if you're going to scrim, people want to win. So having like calls available for people is kind of necessary. The way these bans are going, I won't be surprised if we end up having to decide between a coastline and an Oregon. I would be super surprised if we ended up going to like a border or a consulate. I think it's going to come down to either coastline or Oregon.
I
And
think it's
so
sorry.
yeah, we'll have to see there.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to come down to Oregon, just because I don't think that either team want to take each other to coastline. I think Team Mist will definitely not want to take TGS to coastline, having Vig on the opposite end. It's a very frag heavy map, coastline, so you don't really want to give them that opportunity. So I think it's probably going to come down between Border and Oregon, which are both very strategic maps, very familiar maps, especially Oregon. Um, Plus, we haven't had Border in quite a while. I think maybe they're going to want to go for it for a bit of a surprise tactic.
Yeah, these last few bands, they're definitely you know, they're taking their time. So it's okay, there we go.
Yeah.
We see Consulate get removed. I'm guessing this is Border getting removed now. So I think it's going to come down to Coastline and Oregon.
Uh, I disagree. I think Coastline's the next one out, especially when Team Mist have the opportunity to ban it. I don't think they want to take TGS onto Coastline. It's way too frag heavy of a map.
Mm-hmm.
There's not enough strategy there, and I think they wanna force TGS
I
into
would
that strategy map.
argue Coastline and Border play very similar. It's a very fast-paced map, right? Like if you consider Border, you don't need too much hard reach. Like you could probably run a bunch of soft reach like your sledge. You can probably just kind of like skirt off using like a buck, right? Like if you have a
Mm-hmm.
buck, that's more or less what you need because you bring in the buck, you have like the vertical power, and then you bring in maybe like hard reach devices. But color me wrong, coastline goes away, so this is going to come down to Border and Oregon. I would be surprised if we went to Border, but we'll find out.
Yeah, I agree. I think also be surprised if we see Border, but at the same time, again, we haven't had Border in a while, and we play Oregon all the time. Scrims, and also you see it all the time in ranked. It's a very known map. It's a very easy map
Mm-hmm.
to play for a lot of people. So I think Border might be the play, just because as a surprise factor. For TGS, they're like, oh, get rid of Oregon, put them onto uncomfortable ground, and especially because, as you say, it's a very fast-paced map and it's a very frag-heavy map, similar to Coastline. Them having that frag potential with Vig gives them the upper hand, especially if they start out on attack on Border. And we all know that Border is like most map, it's got an even split, but it tends to be a little bit more attacker sided. And there we go. Yeah, as I called it, Oregon goes out. It's Border. Um, well, there you go. Bit of maybe a bit of a surprise to some people. It's definitely gonna be a surprise to Mist. I don't know that they were expecting Border. Obviously, they left it up for a reason, but I don't know that they were necessarily going for that. And it will be Team Mist to start out on attack as well.
Yeah, I like the idea of starting on attack in Border. I think Border is a very claustrophobic map, right? If you think about the top armory defense, right? You have to necessarily extend out into CCTV, sometimes office fountain. You have to make those extensions because if you give up that room and you give up that room relatively quick in the map, you will lose so much ground, and then you get boxed into basically what is armory and archives, and those are like incredibly claustrophobic. You can have lines of sight that are just cutting off all the rotations. So starting out an attack, I think, is a good idea. It's definitely an attacker favorite map in my opinion, just the way the map plays. Though I don't know
Yeah.
what the stats are like. Um, just the way the map plays, it's going to be uh cool seeing Team Mist go up on the attack. Curious to see what the bans are. I'm really curious to see if we get a Solus. One of the teams is called Goodbye Solus, so it'll be fun to see if we actually see a Solus or not.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I think we can also expect maybe a Valk ban just against Cloak. Although apparently he has been somewhat of a Solus main recently, so it might not be. But here we go into the first game, or I say first game, the only game that we have here. I don't think we're gonna be doing a second one. I know I definitely won't be. But it should be fun.
First ban coming out now. From Team Goodbye Solus. This is the defender banning Jackal. Pretty standard ban, honestly. Good gun. Pretty annoying primary ability if you think about it. Like just being able to pin where defender can be very annoying. Can be really damaging, especially to people who like to lurk. Team Misk is full of lurkers, so wonder why they banned the Jackal. We see the Asa leave as well. That's an interesting ban as well. I think she's really good for the Archives execute. You put the Asa shield in the Archives door. It's basically like pulling off a Monty plant.
Yeah.
Something too different from that. This is going to be interesting. We're going into the defender bans now, so let's see if they ban Solus or we see a Valk. Bandit.
Wow.
Thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. I don't know that I mean, now with the rework of Border, that double armory wall, it's not soft anymore, especially where the bandit virus could go. So bandit tricking on that particular wall only has become a bit easier. I don't know if any other walls get tricked. We see the Solus ban come out. So I'm curious to see where what the motivation for the bandit ban is. But with that said, we're moving to our first round. Team is starting on attack. Let's see how these rounds go out. I'm so excited. Let's get it.
Me too. I think the bandit ban isn't that bad of an idea, especially considering, of course, since we got the Impact EMPs, didn't used to have them. Of course, you only had Thatcher. You had to rely maybe on the Twitch, then Flores maybe. But now with Impact EMPs, you can get that wall opened up pretty quickly. However, it is incredibly easy to trick those with bandit. It is really, really easy to bandit trick both the Impact EMPs and Thatcher's EMPs. So I think just for a little bit more maneuverability and to be able to get that wall without having to worry about a bandit trick is definitely a good idea. There's still ways for you to trick with Kaid, but it's a lot harder to do so than it is with Kaid than it is with bandit. And they aren't going for any wall denial anyway. They're just going for straight intel and grenade denial, from what I can tell. Of course, bringing that as Zami as well.
Definitely, yeah, you're quite correct there. Looking at this lineup on the defense, I'm kind of concerned the Team Mist isn't packing nades. I'm pretty sure the scatters that you're seeing or the lag might just be on the observer side. I don't think the players internally are complaining too much. So if you are seeing lag, it's probably on our side and just the observer. So the players themselves might just be fine. If they do complain, we'll figure it out if they say anything. But coming back to what I was gonna say is no nades. Surprisingly, we see the Capitao, which is pretty good. It's an execution-heavy operator. The majority of the attack has spawned out by the balcony side. You can see they're taking up their initial positions, droning stuff out. They have a Val on the board. So this first minute of almost every attacking round is usually just like intel gathering, trying to figure out where the defenders are, what kind of strat do we want to go from. Is this, you know, we decided to push from this side. Do you want to keep pushing it? All those kinds of questions. You can see some initial gunfire coming out, just trying to like test the water, see how, like, you know, trying to get a feel for it. Vig is in an aggressive position, and this first gunfire might be coming really quick, and there he goes. Domes the Capital, and another one, and that's the ace gone as well. Can he get a third? No, he can't.
That was a really great position there for Vig to be playing inside of CCTV. He also took advantage of the drone. He got droned out, and he just got aggressive with it. He managed to get a 2K. As you said, that's the ace gone there. Hard breach. Also, any hard breach charges that they might have had on Capital also gone. And that is really, really good round presence from Vig. He did die, but not before getting value. And we see they have intel with those Mozzie drones and those Valkyrie cameras for Jordan to get a C4 kill onto turn. That is their Nomad gone as well. And it's all down to Chip now and Electric. Electric does get one onto Musha. But Vig is still inside of CCTV. And they are spread apart. Oh, never mind. That is not inside of CCTV. Vig is also dead. I don't know what I'm saying, but they are close to each other inside of CC to try and maybe push from this armory side. Although without a hard breach, it's going to be a little bit difficult. They do take out Jordan. It's a 2v2 with a minute on the clock. This is very, very winnable. Suddenly, the defenders are put into... Sorry?
Oh, wow. Oh, confrontation in Fountain, and the Doke manages to get it. It's just up to the Jaeger cat camp sitting by the half wall. There's 40 seconds left. There are no Dokkaebi phone calls left, so they're going to have to rely on like previous information. There are yellow pings coming through, but the Dokkaebi just, I think Electric basically clawed that round back for them. I think that was a 4K on that round. Wig swinging out initially, just getting that advantage, but I think after a while, Team Mist wasn't in. Team Goodbye Solace was not in any position to refrag well enough. There are a lot of 1v1 engagements without enough trade potential. So you saw that advantage erode away as Electric was able to just get these picks with these one-on-one engagements.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right there. And I definitely didn't expect them to claw that back the way that they did. I mean, that was a 4v2. I think a little bit of a preface has to be said about Team Mist that I forgot. They have got 3 NA players. They've got Turn, Cloak, and Electric all on NA servers, which means that they've got that ping advantage, you know? I think we saw that with both Marth and Catcan when Electric pushed in. He was able to be a lot more aggressive and to swing in a lot more aggressively because of that ping advantage that he has. So I think that is definitely going to be on... No, we're playing on EU servers, but Cloak, Electric, and Turn have all got the ping advantage, or the swingers advantage from being on higher ping than the rest of the lobby.
10 seconds left before
yeah, the ping can put it up there, but I wouldn't put all of that on ping, but yeah, it's definitely worth like couching the gunfights in that just for the awareness. We're seeing the defenders re-pick into armory, so let's see what they do differently. They've brought a Lion, which I think is a great pick. They've also brought the IQ, which is what I was going to say earlier on. That first round, you saw so many picks come off Intel, just that initial swing. But between the Mozzie tasks and the Valcam, we saw that yellow ping C4 get a pick onto turn. So I'm glad that they're bringing out this IQ just to suss out where these Intel devices might be that are giving Team Goodbye Solace so much information.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely great of them to bring the IQ, especially considering that Musha is picked onto the Capcan as well, who can be very annoying to deal with, but now that they've sussed out the Capcan traps with that IQ scanner, I think that they should have a lot easier time getting inside of here, and I think that's... I think they've got control over CC now at this point. Big, this time not playing as aggressively, playing a little bit close to the chest, and that wall is getting opened up by those can openers from Cloak. I think they've also got Intel on Jordan down below.
Yeah, they've droned out where the Mozzie is. There's a stack of players by the CC balcony. We're seeing the Lion swing in. The Mozzie is ready for this gunfight. It's really going to come down to how the swing goes through. Oh, but Turn's just able to get the pick onto the Mozzie. That's the one roamer gone. Again, no trade coming through. And I feel like now is where Team Mist will start to get a little more aggressive and start pushing into these defender positions.
I think you're definitely right, and I think that was another example of that ping advantage working in their favor. They are able to get a lot more aggressive, and it's a lot more rewarding to do so. Marth getting droned out here inside of office, getting flashed as well. I think that might be spelling trouble for her. Turn flashed himself again, but Marth is not alone here. All Musha has to do is swing. It's Marth actually that gets the kill through the wall. Another engagement against the IQ. C4 goes out as Katkan takes out Unfriendly. The defenders all on very low HP. More engagements coming out. Cloak pushes his way into sight, and a 2K for Cloak. Plan is gonna go down. Musha all by himself inside a fountain. Probably doesn't have info on the plant. Electra holding that rotate as well. Musha in a post plant now. Cloak has made his way outside. A power position for him to be holding. I think that's Cloak. Electric still at the top of metal stairs. All down to Musha now. Unfortunately for him, it is Electric that wins that gunfight. And another round goes to Team Mist. Another one where they weren't looking like they were gonna win, and then they clawed it back toward the end.
Yeah, definitely. That round was very back and forth. We saw the initial gunfights come out. The first gunfight was the Lion onto the Mozzie down below in Customs. Again, no trade there. But the push into office is where it started to falter. You saw the initial advantage swing in favor of the defenders. It was a 3v2. But I think at that point, Cloak pushing into Armory half wall, getting rid of the player by the bomb chassis over there was really powerful. It gave the attackers room to get the plank down. And what had happened, Team Mist actually had some really great positioning there. You saw the IQ, who was at the top of metal stairs by the beeper, basically holding the rotation and the cutoff there. So when Cape was able to go down, they knew they basically had Armory site completely clear. The bomb can go down, and all the other defenders are on the office side. So because their rotation options are limited, they basically have to funnel through the cutoff that Electric was holding. And so you see this 1v2 where Oni is trying to make a move, but he just can't because he just doesn't have anywhere to go. They reposition fairly well, and then they get the pick. I think that was a great close plan held by Team Mist. We're seeing a change in sight coming through. Now we're going downstairs to bathroom tellers. I like the idea that they're now playing a different site. They're bringing in a smoke and a pulse, which I like this change in lineup. It's speaking to, hey, let's adapt a bit to see how our players are doing. They're bringing in a frost, which I think is great because they're relying on the IQ. Obviously, frost mats can't be seen by IQ, so we'll see if anybody lands into those fog mats.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing some Pugmat action. I'm glad to have her brought around so early. Usually she's a second half type of pick or an overtime type of pick. So to see her this early on is really, really good. I think that the pulse of Jordan could be the playmaker here. Jordan is prepping himself some runouts here, but I don't think he's going to be chancing those just yet. They're on a balcony, nothing he can net from there. A lot of these defenders are roaming. And I think it's going to be Vig to be the first one to get aggressive here, coming up these metal stairs.
They guys can play this really carefully. He is the smoke. So if he dies, that's a lot of active utility just gone. Great C4 coming out from the pulse, getting rid of the Capital. So that's the opening pick surrendered by Team Mist. However, we've seen them in the past pull it back. So let's see how they do this time around. The fuse charges are going down. Interesting that they're actually able to get so much out of the fuse, considering there is a pulse on the board. But here's, oh no, they do have a heartbeat charge, so that hatch is getting open. We see Mud going, oh, that's the smoke gone by the Nomad. Now back to a 4v4 with a minute and a half left on the clock.
That was another C4 gone out from Catcan to down, but not kill Electric. Jordan still has a lot of info on their whereabouts inside of archives and could be getting lucky here, whiffs just a little bit through those vertical holes, unable to capitalize off of the information that he had on the Nomad. A minute now left, and I don't know that the Team Mist have the positioning necessary to get this down. They have dropped into bathroom, but Catcan waiting does get the kill. 50 seconds now, 4v3. They equalize again. Unfriendly takes the kill and drops into the bathroom as well. Musha gets turned, and that's the positioning that I was talking about. Musha in a great position. The plant now going down. It'll be Marth to take out Chip as he gets the plant down. It's all down to Friendly. He does take out Marth in a 1v2 post plant. This is winnable for him. He just needs to hold on and survive. They know exactly where he is. Bit of a whiff and running out of ammo in the worst possible moment. Dies, and they're just waiting to see who's going to be the one to take the diffuser down. And the first round on the board for TGS as they win that post plant.
Defender mission successful.
Yeah, I think that was a good retake coming in from... that was a good retake plan, basically, coming out of Team Goodbye Solace. What we saw was Team Mist got the plant down, but they really hadn't, like, held any rotation cutoffs this time around. So, you know, you see the drop into bathroom, and they had the Kaid there ready to pick them off. They trade off the Kaid, but still, at that point, TGS has the man advantage. The cutoffs aren't held, so it's easy for them to basically push, because at that point Unfriendly has just too much to cover at that point. So Mart's able to get the kill onto the person putting down the bomb, even though the bomb has gone down. It's a 3v1. Mart gets traded, but at that point they know where the fuse was. So you saw the pulse and you saw the frost. They basically pincer the fuse, kill the fuse, and then get the round win.
Yeah, that was it was really close there for Mist. I think that was probably a little bit winnable for Friendly there if he had more ammo. It was just a really unlucky position for him to be in there in that 1v2, but really well done from TGS to win that round, to finally put themselves on the board. You know, that's really good to cut off that momentum that Team Mist would have gained had they won another round. And they have gone for a fence workshop defense this time, again switching it up, deciding not to go for the top floor take, which they lost twice in a row, and just deciding, hey, we're good with this bottom hold. We can do it again, just on the other side as well.
Yeah, we're seeing... I believe this is this custom ventilation? Is that where the bomb site is? Looks like it.
Workshop vents.
Oh, it's workshop vents. Sorry, thank you.
You're good.
Brain fart. We're seeing the echo come out, which I like. This time around, they brought the sledge, which I'm very, very happy to see. I wish there was more nade play coming out here. I always like to see good nade play. I think nade play can help Team Mist push the defenders away. Initial contact coming out from the line onto the two players in archives. Oh, but Wig just swings out and gets the opening pick.
That is a really good opening pick as well onto the Lion. A lot of that utility now gone. Turn takes out Musha to equalize again. Big is on slightly lower HP than the rest of the team, but still able to fight. A minute has already gone. They haven't really gained that much map control so far. They have taken control over CCTV, but they've still got a lot of site to take. And there goes Vig with another to take out Cloak. Marth just narrowly missing out on turn there, as a lot more of these fights are starting to come in.
Yeah, V3 leading into a minute and a half, so half the round is over at this point. And Team Mist doesn't really have much. They have one pick, but they don't have any power positions. This Yokai drone is giving away the position off the sledge. They're kind of fragmented, and their utility is kind of suboptimal. They're going to have to force these gunfights out, and Chip wins by getting the kill onto the Ella. This could be huge, as it allows the attackers to now gain space into office and start putting pressure on the site. Because the sledge is still alive, they can start working on their vertical destruction and try and get this plant down. They have a minute left, so they don't have time to waste per se. So this work needs to start now if we want Team Mist to be getting the bomb down.
Yeah, and we see those Siri gates are still up upstairs, and there's still a lot of utilities for them to clear out upstairs. I think that will be Cat Cannon trying to maybe go for a flank. No, it's Jordan holding on the bottom of the metal stairs, and I think that even if they do get this vertical control and try to go for a plant, they still have that echo to deal with, which could seriously be a pain if they don't kill Jordan before that. 15 seconds left on the clock. They're gonna have to go for this. A nade goes out, but it's Marth to win that gunfight, and it's all down to Unfriendly as Chip goes down as well. Diffuser cold on the ground. Friendly downs one in a 1v2. Can't really do much. Both the defenders have hid themselves. And it's another round on the board for TGS. Really, really well done for TGS to hold on to that. Great opening picks from Vig. All around, really, really well done from TGS.
Yeah, better. I like the strategy that TGS is going with these Glass Cube bomb sites. They're having to go back to Armory Archives because now that's the only other site apart from Customs and Tellers, which I think would have the same problem as Armory, where the bomb site is pretty much there, right? Team Mist, both of their attacking wins have been on Armory and Archives, so if they want to get at least a 4-2, a 3-3-1/2, which I think is what they're aiming for. They want to win this next round. It's a very crucial round for Team Mist coming into the attack. They've done it 100% of the time before this, so there's no reason to expect that they can't do it again. We're seeing an incredibly similar lineup coming out of the defense. The Mozzie, the Valkyrie, a very intel-heavy lineup. They're bringing the Melusi, so that's just soundtracks. Curiously enough, we're seeing the Ying come through, which I'm actually excited to see. I think Ying is really good on this side. You can basically sit on the Armory window, which is, there's two windows, one right next to the Melusi and then one closer to Armory wall. It's a very good position for the Ying player to be, where she can just kind of stand there outside on window repel and start throwing Candelas in. They can blind players at half wall, so you then can start pushing into half wall. The Ying can swing in. So that in combination with the Capitao has some really powerful execute potential. So it's up to Team Mist to see if they can live up to it.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right, but what I do want to point out is that they haven't brought the IQ this time. And the TGS have brought the Valkyrie again, and especially those Mozzie drones too, the ADSs, and the Banshees, which, other than being a sound cue, are also slowing down the attack maybe a little bit. It's Musha in a very unfortunate position there, getting droned out very early on and getting taken out. That's a very early pick and a very early advantage from Team Mist. I don't think that CC has been given up quite yet, or maybe it has been. Yeah, I think everyone else is pulled all the way back, leaving CC and that entire side of the map.
And they haven't even left too many C4s or something in there, so this room is free for the attackers. And again, you can see they're pushing up to the main scarce position. They're trying to get control of East scarce, and they're trying to establish these cutoff positions that have worked for them in the past before. A minute and 44 seconds left. There you go. You can hear the double wall get open. And you can see the Ying outside on rappel getting ready. So we'll see if this execute, as I thought would happen, would work. Yeah, there you go. Exactly here. You see the Ying is on the rappel. And so at this point, it's just getting the attackers in position. Somebody's going to call 3-2-1, and then you're going to see the Candelas explode on sight.
Yeah, and I definitely want to see how this plays out, especially when they don't really have that many people inside of Armory for that initial attack. Those ADSs are going to protect them for a little bit, but is it really going to be enough? Cat Cannon in an engagement. Not really able to get the kill. It's Marth on the flank to take out Turn, and that could be the playmaker. Those Candelas going in. One of them misses the window. Cat Can doesn't go down. That is Jordan that goes down. All down to Marth and Vig. As the attack is really starting to come in. It's Vig with the flank, but is not able to get the kill. 1v2. Chip on very low HP. Diffuser cold on the ground. 30 seconds left on the clock. Marth in a power position could take this. She downs Chip. That's a 1v1 now. Electra getting the plant down. All down to Marth. Marth has intel. She knows exactly where he is. He gets off the plant with a pistol in hand. It's Electric that gets the kill with the LMG on Ying. Another round for Team Mist, and that really was looking like TGS's round. once Marth got that down on to Chip. Really well pulled out there from Mist, but I think that was TGS's round once that plant was starting to go down.
Yeah. Again, it really did come down to the Ying power play. Not a lot of C4 play, which I think, again, you're seeing the correction come out. The pulse is working out for TGS, so you can see them bringing that out again. I think it really just comes down to the fact that going into the execute, Team Misk had the man advantage that they needed. So even when you saw the trades come in, a lot of players go down. They're just able to kind of like hold on to the man advantage and win the 1v1s that they
Attackers
needed
need
to.
locate
I
and
think
defuse bombs.
Chip winning the gunfight, like the reverse swing gunfight onto Big was really crucial. Like that was really important. Went from a 2v2, brought it down to a 2v1, allowing for Electric to try and get the plant down or at least play it, right? Because when the Thatcher died, they knew where the Aruni was. And at that point, the Aruni can only push in one of two ways, right? And you know she's probably not going to push in from CC, or you'll hear her first. So that's what you saw, especially now. You have to remember, Aruni's a 3 armor now. She's a 1 speed.
Oh,
So
yeah.
she's louder than she used to be, right? So when she's moving slower, especially if the Aruni is ADS, but that's across the board. So even if the Aruni's on ADS, she's moving as slow as you possibly can in this game. And so now she's loud, she's slow, so the Ying doesn't have too much of a problem like hearing the Aruni push at her, right? So it's easy to get off the plant. There was 30 seconds left, you saw the 1v1, and then you go, boom, gunfight done, and that's how Team Mist wins. Every attacking round though so far has been won in armory. So this is the last half of the round. This is round 6, so basically we're going to decide if we see a 4-2 or a 3-3 half. They have pings on the pulse. So this is going to be the super duper crucial round, especially for TGS if they want to go into the next half with some semblance of an advantage.
Vig in an early engagement takes out Unfriendly, and that little bit of information that they had on him through the drones didn't really seem to pay off. Catcan in an engagement as well downstairs. I think that might have been through the walls. It's Marth and Jordan holding on inside of Workshop, as opposed to last time. They are going for an extension into Workshop. It's Electric trying to get the kill through the wall onto Jordan. No doubt turn with the IQ, spotting him out, making sure that they can't see him. It's Jordan who puts himself inside of Electric's crosshair, and that is to equalize, put us onto 4-4 as it's a minute and 30 gone. It's Vig with the kill on with the Thorn Trap. That is a huge kill now, especially when that is the Thatcher gone. He gets another. It's a 3K so far for Vig. He won't get another. They finally take him out. 3v2. Minute 20 on the clock in a 2v3. This is winnable for Team Mist. Yeah.
This is definitely winnable for Team Misk. They have the Nook, they have the Capitals, they have a good amount of like execute utility if they need it. The really hard part is just going to be opening up these lines of sight. The bulletproof is available, guys. Just whack the bulletproof. Like,
yeah,
just get rid of it. Yeah, there you
no,
go.
There was a little bit of utility play there that could have been done from Catcan had he used the bulletproof EMP blast on that breach. Evades that grenade. It wasn't cooked at all. It was mainly just to get him to reposition.
Oh, there it goes.
The shield goes. 30 seconds left on the clock. They are getting this breach open now. That grenade also got rid of the Kaid Claw. It's Cloak now in a 1v2. It's Catcan to clean it up, and TGS take another round. 3-3 half. TGS have proved that they can defend for their life downstairs, but they can't defend as hard upstairs. Let's see whether Team Mist have the same fate.
Which makes me wonder, like, why go again to Armory and Archives? Like, why not just roll the dice on your customs teller's hold, right? Like, just try it. We've seen, like, it failed every single time. So I'm really curious to know what the logic was in saying, hey, let's try to, you know, sometimes it does work out, sometimes it doesn't. But I feel like always it's just better to try something new.
Yeah.
We're seeing the side flip come in. So I'm curious to see if the pattern holds. I.e., is Armory attack the like, are we going to see a defender-sided border where the only site that the attack can do in is armory and
Attackers need to
archives, and it
locate
just
and
really
defuse
just
the
comes
bomb.
down to how many times the defense goes to that site, right?
Mhm.
Or maybe we go to overtime. It's totally possible we just get another dead even half.
Mhm.
We're seeing a change up of operators this time. We're seeing the Oryx, which just never showed up in the first half. I'm actually happy to see it. Border, I think, has like that flank potential. So bringing in operators like the Oryx, I think, is a smart play because it
Attackers
just
have located the
allows
bomb.
for the defenders to have to keep worrying about their flank.
Yeah, we also do see them bring in the Kaid. Team Goodbye Solus never really brought wall denial upstairs, but they are Team Mist are bringing it. And despite having played the IQ every single round, TGS are not. Despite having played the Valkyrie every single round, TGS are not going for the IQ, leaving Team Mist with that intel that they could gain with the Valkyrie cameras.
We're seeing the initial kind of information phase come up. Again, this Azami in CCTV is classic, like very like generic CCTV hold. Like generic isn't bad, it's just generic, right? This is like pretty default in terms of like where you would position the Azami. I don't know if the Jaeger ADS devices are in CC, but this position has like the potential to be an incredible utility. So it's worth noting that the Hibana has soft beat charges, not flashes. So the utility is a little like stunted, for lack of a better word. Oh, what a great opening pick from the Azami onto the Yana off Oni, and crucially, only set of nades now gone.
Yeah, only set of nades, and a lot of that intel potential that they had with the Iana clones now gone. They are going to be going for this wall, or at least trying to achieve something on this side. They have the Thatcher, they have the Thermite. They could do this. They getting aggressive, doing a lot of damage, and through the wall to finally finish off Electric. That's the Azami gone, and CC control is finally back in their hands. Cloak could be going for a huge flank here. There's a drone at the top of the east stairs. I don't know if they know he's up there, especially when Musha isn't on drones, not watching any flanks. This could be a huge round here from Cloak if he can manage to get these kills, but he's not alone here. They are watching him. They are waiting for him. As that wall does get opened, Cloak could be getting a kill here onto Nomad. I think they both know that the other one is there. Minute left now. They do drone him out. They find out he's there, but he drops away again. That intel doesn't really achieve much. Friendly takes out Jordan, and then that's another attacker off the board. 3v4 with 45 seconds left on the clock. Kakan in another engagement. It is Vig to take out Turn. Cloak with some information trying to floor bang. Not enough. 35 seconds. 3v3. It has become a bit of a stalemate. Inside of sight is Marth. Does get taken out by Chip. Chip in another engagement here. Getting chanced by Vig. It's a 3k for Vig, who tries to get the plant down. He's far away from his teammate. Or rather, his teammate is far away from him. It's a quad for Vig. This could be a wall bank here for Cloak. All down to Cloak. And it's an ace for Vig to win the round! What? Oh my goodness, what a round from Vig. I cannot believe that. I saw that from Cloak to clutch that. Wow. Wow, what a round to open up the half for TGS.
Yeah, these, again, is Armory and Archives. I would, please, dear God, let's not go there again. Oh my God, they're going there again. Stop going there. You can't win it. Just don't bother with it. If you're gonna go there, just don't go there again. Like literally the next media chance you get. Okay, nobody's winning that defense. Like it's just such an untenable defense. It just talks about like how weak that site is, right? Because you need so much extension. We're not seeing those office extensions come through. I think, you know, we see the CCTV extensions, and that's pretty good. But there's not a lot of office extension, which I think is the problem here. Obviously, most of the plans are focused towards armory, so maybe just like not giving up a CCTV, stacking more utility, holding down that power position, because we're seeing it happen in every single armory round that's been played so far. The attackers get control of CCTV. They hold CCTV like it's a fortress, open up the half wall, and then just push deeper in half wall.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of room for the half wall player. You can get the cutoff from the half wall window, the armory window that we're staring at, right? So you can put two players there tops, right? So it's like the defenders just can't hold that position. The attackers don't even need to like clear them completely. They can just kind of like plant by the door, right? And so it's just, I'm really curious to know why both teams have insisted on going to Armory Archives. Maybe it's just because it's a very familiar site. I would guess that's the reasoning for it. But I really hope that if Team Mist loses this defense, that we just don't see Armory and Archives ever again for the remainder of this match. Like, please, just let's not go there anymore.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that the same sort of rings true for a lot of games, not just here. I think we have some stats from before in Seismic Scrims. The Armory site, despite being an overwhelmingly primary site for all teams and all players, is just atrociously defended by everyone, or maybe just that well attacked by everybody. So I think, just in general, I think we need to see a switch away from this site. And it looks like they're going to be ignoring Cloak inside, or Electric inside of CCTV for the time being. That wall gets opened up quick, and it's Musha with the first pick onto Unfriendly. That's the Glass doing his work from inside, or from outside the Archives window. He gets another. That's a quick 2K and a really good opening from Musha on the Glass. Making some sightlines as well, making Chip uncomfortable on this Africa wall.
See how, like, okay, it's good that they're getting these picks back, but see, there you go. It's just, like, there's no room for the defenders to play. You see the flank coming in. Thank God they get the kill there. That's bringing it somewhat back. But again, you see that CC control has been forfeited. Now it's up to the Valkyrie of Cape to try and push it into CCTV. And see, here you go. See, they have control of the half wall. Now they're getting ready to plant. The only thing that's stopped is that they literally just didn't have case. They've got the... there you go. Cape pushing in through CCTV, but Jordan has a cutoff on top metal stairs. This is going to be very crucial for Cape to win. And again, it's the same story. That's the same story again and again and again. Okay, I'm glad I had that coffee, because otherwise I would be asleep by now.
Yeah, it's the same thing that we see happen here, and that brings TGS a step away from match point. Team Mist have to go downstairs and they have to win. I think they should have probably gone below earlier to make sure that the TGS do not get the momentum that they are gaining. They've now won 3 rounds in a row. That is breaking the pattern that we saw in the first half, where it was 2, then 2, then 2 again. This is now 3 rounds in a row for TGS, and that is a lot of momentum for them to be gaining, especially on the back of Vig's ace in the rounds previous. I think that's definitely a morale booster for TGS at the moment. I think that Mist definitely want to try and win this.
I wonder if Vig acing was the reason they decided to go back. Was that part of their logic? Like, they were like, oh, Vig just aced. That was why we lost it. And I think, like, that's partly true, but that's also not the whole reason why they lost that. Again, we've seen that no defenders can hold that site. I wish we had seen back from tellers come back sooner. The lineup is a bit better. We're seeing a Blackbeard come out, which is like, you know, why not? It's not the worst operator to bring. Sometimes the Blackbeard can actually work out, especially if you have players playing on high ping. The Blackbeard can be really problematic because sometimes the bullets won't register. You know, especially with the shield, right? So, I'm curious to see whether the pattern holds in Armory and Archives is the only site that the attackers can attack and successfully win. Because that's the only one they've won so far.
Yeah, and I do want to point out that the defenders are not doing a workshop extension. We saw TGS both do it and not do it, so I wonder how that's going to work out. And that Electric with the first kill onto Vig, that's the Thatcher gone. That means those hatches stay closed unless Catcan can get those. But it's not going to be Catcan because it's Electric with another kill onto Catcan. That's the Twitch and Thatcher both gone. This could be the round for Team Mist. This has to be the round for Team Mist. They do not want to push TGS onto match point, and they do not want to lose a 5-3 man advantage, especially when they still have that top floor control being held by Cloak and Electric, the two teammates holding on by themselves upstairs, the rest of the defenders all downstairs.
So they at this point it's pretty dire for TGS right now. In terms of utility, they don't have much. They have 2 smokes in terms of throwables. They've set down 1 claymore. They have breaching charges from the IQ, but the IQ has to push in to either CC or Armory or somewhere to basically start using those breaching charges. But the problem is, I think right now TGS is essentially like locked out and shut out of the building. Half the round is gone, and I think if we cycle through it, all 3 attackers are outside the building right now. Outside the building, outside the building, outside the building. There you go. So with a minute left, the attackers haven't even gotten in. Their drone is... TGS is down to, I think, 2 drones. 1 in pocket of Musha, and then 1 deployed by Marth out there. They're going to come onto this Legion, and she's not even ready for it now. Information becoming a huge problem for TGS, as they're basically atrophying on this top stairs hold.
That's a 3k now for Electric as he takes out Musha as well. All down to Jordan, Diffuser cold on the ground and currently in control of the defenders. Cloak starting out with a little bit of trash talk. Of course, this is a scrim between Jordan and Cloak. Jordan does get 1 now, 1v4. 20 seconds left on the clock. No Diffuser in hand, has information and has the sound to take out Cloak. But now on very low HP and through the wall, it's Electric to get another kill. Team missed. Pull themselves back. Make sure to stop that momentum that TGS were slowly gaining. And they stopped TGS from advancing to match point for a little bit longer.
Yeah. I see that now. If the pattern holds, we should see this go up to 5. No, don't. Okay, thank God. Oh no. Go back. Yes, now stay there. Do not click. I don't know who it is, but do not.
Oh no! Oh no!
No!
Oh
No! Okay, I'm going to do something. Okay, this calls for extreme measures here, but this is time now. This is ridiculous. But okay, here we go. Let's see if I can do this. Give me 1 second.
I have no idea what he's doing. In his absence, I will walk you through this. I think the team missed.
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Okay,
Tell
yeah.
Me, I hope this works. Okay, I don't know if it'll work, but let's see if this works. Okay, ready?
What are you doing?
Is it not picking up? I'm trying to play Fabian's timeout speech that he gave to G2. Because literally, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah,
what the fuck are we doing?
That's brilliant.
Seriously?
That is brilliant.
Okay. Guys, again, this could push TGS up to match point. I'm really curious to see if Team Misk actually wins this defense, because if not, they're basically throwing this game away.
Yeah, I think that they have a lot more confidence than they do have, you know, smarts. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. I don't want to offend anybody. It's a saying that we have in Croatian. I don't think that it translates the same into English. But I think that they have definitely a lot more confidence than they should, considering that this site has not been won by defense at all, and that Monty could seriously cause trouble. They do have a lot of intel, although the IQ could pose a serious threat to that intel that they are gaining.
I like this idea of the IQ, like, trying to suss out any pre-placed C4s. The way the attackers are kind of like stacked again on CCTV, I don't know where this execute is going to come down. There's a minute off the board. Most of the attack is still outside the building with not a lot of like momentum and throughway made.
Okay, so this is gonna be a little bit of a detour because I just switched onto Electric to just spectate him, and he has 16 kills.
Yeah, he has 16 kills. Electric is going nuts. Electric and Vicky are basically carrying their individual teams right now.
Which is funny, because this is supposed to be a Jordan versus Cloak scrim, but it just seems to be an Electric versus Vig scrim instead. But of course,
Yeah.
Siege is a team game, and it's not all about kills. As evident, I mean, Electric has more kills, and Team Mist are not winning. There goes Musha with the kill onto turn, and that could be the first domino to fall. Kakan is getting hurt a lot, but it's Jordan to take out the C4, the one Hail Mary saving grace that it could have been. It's all down to Unfriendly and Chip. They do take a 1 with the C4. Vig getting hurt a lot on that electrified wall. They have a little bit of intel, but this could be trouble, especially as Musha has made his way inside of the other site. Whiffs a little bit with that sniper, and this could be the round. Vig with the diffuser in hand, and it's Catcan with the final kill onto Chip. TGS put themselves on match point. I am face-bombing so hard. What happened? They need to take a timeout. Team Mist, take a timeout, please. I beg of you. And don't go upstairs anymore.
I mean, I don't know what. Oh no, no way.
Oh,
They're-
for the
they're
love of
joking.
God. For the love
I
of
suppose-
God.
Okay, so this is again a bit of a detour, but the Mandela effect is when you attribute something when like the zeitgeist attributes something incorrectly. So one of a common Mandela effect is assuming Einstein said the phrase, you know, to try the same thing expecting different results is the definition of insanity. I don't think Einstein ever actually said that. But what the fuck, guys? Why are you trying the same thing expecting different results? Okay, they went to ventilation, thank God. I think they went to ventilation. The last time I saw that, it said ventilation. I'm a little furious right now. I hope to God it is ventilation. But this is interesting again. Again, we're seeing again all the attacks being won just on one side. It's worth noting. So far, I think with Team Mist's 3 rounds and Team Solus's 2 rounds, 5 attacks have been won this entire game on one site.
Yep.
That's incredible if you think, just like stop and think about it. All of the attacks, and of which there have been 5 in this game so far, right? Because we had a 3-3 half, and so far. Oh, so wait, sorry, that's 6 rounds.
Yeah.
6 rounds. Yes, 6 rounds. Sorry, there you go. My math was a little janky.
Yeah,
there,
because they
but
went there.
6
Yeah,
rounds
yeah.
has been won on the same site. That's ridiculous. How do you get there, man?
Wait. It is also incredible because that is the sort of dedicated primary site for most people, for comp, for not so much for comp, but for seismic and for rank. That is the dedicated primary site, and yet it's yet to be won.
Yeah, again, it's. I don't know if like it's just because teams are like struggling to like hold down the CC extensions. See, now this is the really worrying bit. If TGS could just figure out the solution to this one ventilation hold, then that's it. They win. Like the win condition after the attack curse has become win a site other than Armory Archives. Because apparently the defenders just love going there, and so now it just comes down to can you put Viggy just kind of like rushing through that Capcan type takes a bunch of damage. Kip might be oh my god, just
How does Z survive? Wow, Cloak
That's
just
incredible.
narrowly avoids death somehow. Vig on 50 HP from the Capcan that he droned out, but wasn't able to shoot in time. I think that was a little bit of a lag. Electric sees the shoulders of Marth and takes her out. A little bit of a bad positioning there from Marth. That's the hard breach gone, or at least the main hard breach. They still have Ace. It's Vig with the swing onto Electric to equalize. 90 seconds so far gone. Vig throwing out these grenades, won't be catching anybody. Cloak has made his way downstairs. The rest of the defenders, I think, also downstairs, holding on. I think Unfriendly with the Echo could be the playmaker here. A lot of this vertical is now starting to come down from Vig, and I assume would probably from Jordan the Buck as well. A little bit of that intel is being gained by those proxy alarms, but not enough to really capitalize off of at this time.
There's one C4 left in the pockets of the cap can. There's a sledge, there's a buck, they're getting the vertical destruction done. It's, oh my god, and another kill out on too unfriendly. That's the Echo gone. So now the Yokais can deny the plant. The best they can do is call it out. It's a 4v2. Turn and Cape, the only two alive. They're kind of split up right now. I think the plan might be to go for the retake. Turn gets one onto the ace. Now it's down to a 3v2. Do they know where this position is? Big needs to win that crucial gunfight, but loses. Down to a 2v1. Cape as the castle is incredibly hurt. But the Capcan trap downs the Nomad. It's up to Jordan in a 1v1 for match point. This is a storyline in its making. This is a rivalry scrim. Jordan's getting the plant down. Cape is trying to move in. The Nomad and his downscape can probably call it away. And then Cape wins, denying TGS their match point. Talk about a storyline for a rivalry scrim.
Talk about a clutch. My stomach is in knots after that. I thought it was a 4v2. I'm thinking TGS have this in the bag. And then Team Mist say no. It's our round and we won't go down. I still think that Team Mist should take a timeout to get back into their heads. They are going for bathroom tellers. Thank God they're not trying to go upstairs again. This is the round. This is TGS for the win. It's Team Mist to take it to overtime. What a matchup. Holy God. We might actually see overtime.
I think this is going to go to overtime because, I mean, this game, and again, this is going to kind of sound a little bad, but this game has been incredibly predictable, right? We've essentially called out the way this is going to happen. This is going to be the fun bit, right? Because we know that the defense can only win because we know the defense is winning most of the sites, right? Even though it's an even split in terms of like attacking rounds one, we have to note that there's a huge caveat because it all went down to the same side. The thing about overtime is you don't need to do a full site rotation to win it. You just need to win 2 of your defenses, right? Depending on the team that starts on defense. So which team starts on defense and then which sites do they go to? That'll be like the crucial bit, right? I think Team Mist just learned their lesson by saying Armory Archives is not the play. Let's go somewhere else, right? So it's really just going to come down to these last few rounds, these last few defenses, and especially crucially where these defenses are played. We're seeing some rat play come out of the Alaba, which I think is the best time. By the way, both Vig and Electric are in contention, or sorry, not in contention, in competition to break this 20 kill, break the 20 kill limit, not limit, but whatever, break 20 kills basically. And so, with the possibility of going to overtime, I think both these players might be able to get 20 kills each between them.
And I do want to point out, it's again Cloak and Electric holding on top floor. Last time it was Electric getting those first 2 picks very early on to take advantage of, to get an early advantage on the round, especially on this site. Let's see if he can do it again. They are droning him out quite a bit. Those 0 cams as well coming in to help. He will give up CC. He will pull back into Fountain, but that's okay because Fountain is where they really have to hold on considering where site is. They are pushing into Armory, and this could be the moment right here.
This huge half-wall push that's coming is signaling where this attack is coming from. And if I had to criticize it a bit, it feels a little too linear and a little too slow. Because half the round is over. Nobody is guyed yet, right? So this is key. Is that a misdrone? No, it's not a misdrone. They should be able to get this pick, and they do. Opening pick surrendered. Vig on 19. If he has to drag his team across the finish line, I would suggest he do it by actually getting 20 kills. So this will be fun to see if Vig actually wins this round by breaking 20 kills. Oh, the Frost is next to die. The Buck is doing the vertical destruction. This might be it. Of course, it's worth noting, I think the last round was also the same way, where it was a 5v3 and it came down to a 1v1 clutch.
Yeah, and they still have a little bit of that C4 potential. They've got 2 C4 still in pocket, and a lot of that vertical could be denied with the C4. Chip blows is just a little bit too late, and I think he'll be the next one to die from these vertical angles. Survives just a little bit more. 35 seconds now left for the attackers to make a push for a Cloak in a crucial position. There goes a kill onto turn. A couple people onto square. There goes Vig with the quad, and this could be another ace. As it's all down to Chip, and it is another ace for Vig. It's a flawless round for TGS, and it's a win for TGS.
Yeah, well done to TGS. They did the one thing. I think I remember seeing it I think in the first half, right? Because the attacker win condition is win a site that is not Armory Archives. Guess what?
Yeah.
They won a site that was not Armory Archives. They won the game. Who would have thunk, right? Again, yeah, I think if I had to ask, just why did we see so many Armory Archive rounds? But again, it is what it is. I think this was a good border game. I like to see games go the distance. So 75 full all 12 rounds of regulation. I call that a win for us, the viewers.
Yeah, I guess I agree. Well, that was quite a back and forth. I mean, we had, it wasn't sort of a comeback from anybody. Like they were losing quite a lot in the first half, and then they brought it back. It was a back and forth the whole time. I think that game was lost for Team Mist when they decided to go for Armory Archives the third time.
The third time? Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because at that point, they just ran out of breathing room, right? Because what happened, like, imagine that Armory Archive round doesn't get played, right? The rounds, I think Team Mist would have been able to build some defensive rounds. And even if they lost that last round, which was the match point round, they would have probably tied it up at. There's a universe where, depending on the sites, you basically just force the OT, right? But again, that Armory Archives just being the bane of every defender's existence here on Border.
Yeah, it clearly is, and I think it really needs to start making its way out of being the favored site and being the primary site. It clearly is way too easy of a read. You take CC, you pretty much win the round for a lot of these takes. So, I mean, great valiant effort there from Mist. I think they also, it was working for them in the start of the game, having that ping advantage from the 3NA players, but I think maybe it came to bite them back a little bit later on. I think also just, you're playing against Big. I think that you're always on sort of a little bit of a back foot against Big. We've had people in chat saying the Big buff is real and, Big ace twice. There's not much that you can do about that. And, whether you're on 5 ping or 500, there's not much you can do against that. So,
agreed.
Yeah. I mean, GG's to TGS. That means that Cloak has been dethroned as king of Seismic Rivalry Scrims, and it is Jordan now to take his place. Cloak had to defend his title against Genio and won, but it's Jordan now to take the throne. Will he be challenged by somebody else, or will he just come to rule the lands forever? We don't know. But thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you, Tardis, for joining me.
Always.
GG's to everyone, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. See you.